Three Pakatan Harapan state leaders, namely Negeri Sembilan, Selangor and Penang, have agreed to not hold state elections if the federal government decide to hold GE15 during the monsoon season, according to several news reports. This was decided during the PH Presidential Council meeting that had been held today, according to Datuk Seri Ibrahim. Anwar said the focus will be on addressing issues faced during the floods and that PH was not going to add on to the suffering of the people. He said that it was decided that the three states will not hold state elections until the flood issues have been resolved, and that would most likely be in February or March next year. Reports recently quoted a meteorological official as saying that major flooding was unlikely in the weeks up to early November, as the northeast monsoon had yet to arrive. However, the meteorological department predicted thunderstorms and intermittent heavy rain in the evening in parts of the country, which could lead to flash floods. Meanwhile, there have been several developments taking place in the eventual lead-up to GE15. Today, the anti-party hopping law came into effect, while the Election Commission says that it will extend the voting hours now that the voting pool has been enlarged, given that the voting age has been lowered to 18. Hibiscus Petroleum was the second most actively traded stock on Bursa Malaysia today, following the news that it had resolved its sales tax issue in Sabah. Hibiscus ended the day 8.6% higher at 94.5 cent, with over 81.6 million shares changing hands. It had reached as high as 99 cent during the day. To recap, Hibiscus, which had previously questioned the imposition of state sales tax on its two units operating in Sabah, has proceeded to pay the 85.7 million ringgit in tax. Analysts in general were positive on the move, with Public Invest Research upgrading its rating to trading buy with a higher target price of 1 ringgit 18. Public IB said that with this issue being resolved, any lingering uncertainty in its Sabah operations that could have affected its operational efficiency has been removed. Hong Leong IB Research also kept its buy call with a slightly lower target price of 1 ringgit 54. HLIB pointed out that Hibiscus has decided to incur the Sabah SST expense and made full provision of its payments to the IRB in their fourth quarter of FY22 rather than the first quarter of FY23, giving it a clean slate for the coming year. Former AmBank Managing Director Cheah Tek Kuang told the High Court that he did see Low Tek Jho at Datuk Seri Najib Razak's personal home in Jalan Langgak Duta when he went there in 2011 to help Najib open his bank accounts. However, he did not speak with Low, who is currently a fugitive. Cheah, who is the 39th prosecution witness at the 1MDB Tanore trial, was answering questions from Najib's lawyer Tan Sri Muhammad Shafi Abdullah, who had asked him about Low's presence in Najib's house. He said that when he was picked up by a driver to go to Najib's house in 2011, he was accompanied by 2 or 3 other cars and they made their way to the ex-Prime Minister's residence. He said that he had seen Low in the other car. On Tuesday, Cheah had testified that he had gone to facilitate the opening of Najib's account at AmBank as he was due to receive $100 million from Saudi Arabia. While Cheah said he did not ask the purpose the funds were coming in for, Najib elaborated that it was a donation to him from Saudi Arabia in line with Islamic activity. Cheah said he knew very little of Low because when he started doing business with AmBank, Cheah was not involved. Cheah added that he had met Low several times for meals, but Low had a habit of always being tardy. National car maker Proton Holdings ended the third quarter with another strong month of sales that contributed to its best quarter of the year and helped it to push past a key milestone. In a statement, Proton said that with the 14,872 units sold in September, this brings its cumulative year-to-date sales to 102,353 units, a jump of 40% from last year. The car maker said this is the fourth consecutive year the 100,000 unit barrier has been exceeded, coming in 2 months earlier than in 2021. Proton also said that when compared to its rivals, it remained second in the sales table with an estimated market share of 23.8% in September. It said its year-to-date market share has exceeded 20% for the first time this year, sitting at 20.1%. Meanwhile, Proton said overall total industry volume in September is estimated to have receded to approximately 62,500 units, the fourth best total of the year, as the Malaysian automotive market seems set for its best sales year. Deputy CEO Roslan Abdullah said the third quarter is the carmaker's best quarter of the year so far, coming in with 42,229 units sold. He says this was down to a combination of stability in its production numbers, as well as continued strong appeal of its models, especially for the 2022 Proton Saga and the Proton X50. Roslan adds that despite the poor start to the year, Proton is confident of achieving a fourth consecutive year of double-digit sales growth. OCK Group has inked a shareholder agreement with the Ministry of Finance in Laos to expand its presence. In a statement, the telecommunication network solutions provider said that under this agreement, OCK will set up a joint venture company under the name OCK Laos Towerco Co, whereby OCK will hold a majority stake of 70%, while the remaining 30% will be held by the Laos MOF. It said OCK LTC will subsequently apply for a tower license in Laos. OCK said this strategic venture will allow it to tap into the telecommunications industry in Laos and further expand its global footprint. OCK Group MD Samui Chin Kun said this partnership allows the company to bring its services to other parts of the Southeast Asian region. He says that OCK believes in the need to constantly look at expanding its telecommunications services to better suit the rapidly evolving industry and constant demand for better connectivity. As such, Lim says that OCK has entered the market at the right time to be able to tap into the new 5G industry in Laos.